Good day and welcome to another edition of Citizens Movement Radio News. Today is Tuesday, 20 January 2026. I am Loveness Gotora, ready to bring you the latest news and updates. Here are today's headlines on Citizens Movement Radio News. Go beyond P-era hotlines and fix the roads, says MP. Mazibaba Shandoko remains in good spirits despite delays in bail ruling. Mashingo Councillor rally behind Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Now let's delve into the detailed stories. Following public outcry on social media about the country's roads, the Minister of Transport rolled out hotlines encouraging citizens to report potholes. Women's Proportional Representation MP for Mashonaland West Province, Honorable Musa Morombezi, said the ministry must go beyond this public relations gesture and fix roads that are in urgent need of rehabilitation, like the Mondoro Skyline Road. Let's hear Honorable Morombezi speaking.
I find it quite surprising. I find it quite shocking. And to be frank, I find it quite frightening that we have a Ministry of Transport that is that is outsourcing its duty to citizens. Our people don't need a hotline to report a bad road. They need safe roads. The ministry has to guarantee safe roads for our citizens. For an example, I can give the Mondoro Skyline Road, which is a death trap, and no amount of PR can cover that reality. Every day, our mothers, our school children, our farmers, our traders risk their lives on roads that should have been fixed years ago. And hotlines may sound responsive, but they do not fill the potholes. They do not fix roads. Citizens want action, not excuses. And the longer the government delays, the more lives are put at risk. Our roads are not just infrastructure. They are arteries of our nation. Without them, commerce stalls, our communities suffer, and trust in leadership erodes. This call is urgent. The ministry must go beyond the PR and fix the road. Take for an example the Harare Chirundu Road. You don't need a hotline to fix that road. The Mondoro Skyline Road, you don't need a hotline to fix that road. The Karai Binga Road, all the roads in Mashonaland West, for an example, you don't even need a PR hotline to do that. The ministry has to get to work. The ministry has to start working. Our people deserve dignity when they are moving on the road. Our people deserve safety. A lot of our roads are death traps. Our people deserve better.
Yesterday, the Citizens Welfare Department leader Senator Amaibonga Itome visited activist Mazibaba Shanduko at Harare Remand Prison, where he is waiting for his bail ruling following his arrest in October last year and charged with incitement. Senator Tome said Mazibaba Shanduko, whose real name is Godfrey Karembera, was in good spirits and remains committed to seeing a free Zimbabwe. Let's hear more from Senator Tome.
Yesterday I went to Harare Remand Prison. I saw Mazibaba Shanduko in good spirits, and he's still committed to seeing a free and better Zimbabwe for all. It's now more than 3 months after Godfrey Karembera, otherwise known as Mazibaba Shanduko, was abducted, tortured, and then was detained in custody at Harare Remand Prison. We believe as citizens that he is unjustly incarcerated and being denied bail with other pro-democracy activists. We hear one of them has been given or granted bail, which is a constitutional right, but for Mazibaba Shanduko and our team, they remain in custody. It's prolonged punishment for holding dissenting views. This is not law but repression. We condemn this injustice and we demand justice for all political prisoners. Free Mazibaba Shanduko and team now. Free all political prisoners. Drop the charges. Thank you.
Councillors from the opposition in Masvingo Urban have pledged their support to the People's President Advocate Nelson Chamisa and distancing themselves from the Sengizo Chabangu-led Triple C. Speaking at a feedback meeting held at Masvingo Urban, MP Honorable Martin Mureri, the Deputy Mayor for Masvingo, Councillor Daniel Mberi Kunashe, said Advocate Chamisa is going to lead the country very soon. Let's tune in.
Chamisa has politics. Chamisa, the president, very, very Christian now. He is the person who was fit. Chamisa was fit. Aka winner, the president of the country. Aka Chamisa was a councillor, Albana. Aka Chamisa was an MP, Albana.
In Bikita Rural District Council Ward 13, a ZANU-PF candidate Orpheus Tinaro Mazivanyika was duly declared councillor after the single opposition candidate pulled out. Political analysts say the opposition needs to put their house in order and come out with a political organization in order to challenge ZANU-PF in the 2028 elections. Some analysts say Advocate Nelson Chamisa remains the most popular opposition leader to challenge ZANU-PF's hold on power, but urge him to form a political movement. ZANU-PF Member of Parliament for Chirezi West Darlington Chiwa was granted $200 bail yesterday after appearing at Masvingo Regional Magistrate Court facing charges of corruption. Chiwa was arrested by ZAC last week on allegations of abusing Constituency Development Fund CDF money on alcohol and personal use. One of the officials in the opposition in Masvingo Province, Jefferson Chitando, said ZANU-PF has become heaven of corruption under the leadership of Emerson Mnangagwa. Let's hear Chitando speaking.
When ZANU-PF is no longer in good books with its own members or officials, it tends to say that they now smell like members of the opposition. This is what you see to the honorable member of parliament for Chirezi West, Chiwa. He is a member of the G40. So now they are starting to unearth the corrupt activities which they have been doing together. ZANU-PF corruption, looting of the resources is in their DNA. If you trace the history of ZANU-PF, you understand that ZANU-PF is not a people-centered organization. It's a looting mafia. If those who still have got memory, you know that Kumbere Kankai looted GMB and the country had to import maize on the verge of members starving, the whole country. Those who still remember, Chimtengwende looted diesel for the whole country, and we were left with no, and they had to ration fuel for this country. Remember Morris Nyagumbo, Jacob Mdenda, the Speaker of Parliament, Frederick Shava, and others. They looted the Willowville, which later on was called the Willowville Scandal or the Willowgate. And those who still have good memory, they know that Mupofu and his colleague, they looted the Presidential God Scheme. The other reason why Mutodi was dropped from deputy minister was that he had pointed out that there was a lot of corruption pertaining to the issue of the presidential input scheme. This country had been blessed by God through the Marange diamonds, Chiazwa, but they were all looted. So it is ZANU-PF's culture of looting. It is their DNA. It is in them that they do not work for the people. They work for themselves. So for Chirwa, he knew what the ideology which they get from the Chitepo, the school of ideology, that you should enrich yourself, you should loot the country's resources, you should loot public funds as long as you dance to the tune of those in leadership. You are not going to go in prison. We have heard a lot of all this corruption, but we have never heard of any person who has been in prison for such crimes.
As we look at our weather forecast, the Meteorological Services Department has said that heavy rains are expected across the country this week, starting today up to Saturday. The department warned that the rains would be accompanied by lightning and thunderstorm in some parts of the country. They also want citizens to be wary of floods. In international news, and a very sad story. 14 students died in an accident yesterday morning near Vanderville Park in South Africa, Gauteng province. The accident happened after the minibus they were in collided head-on with a truck. Reports say the taxi driver was attempting to overtake 5 cars and failed to get back to his lane before colliding with the truck. Preliminary investigations point to overloading of the vehicle and a dangerous overtaking attempt as contributing factors. The truck driver emerged unharmed, though a passenger sustained injuries. The 22-year-old driver of the minibus was arrested after receiving medical treatment. He faces a multiple counts of culpable homicide along with charges of reckless and negligent driving and is expected to appear in the Vanderville Park Magistrate Court in the coming days. Ugandan political prisoner Dr. Kizza Besigye is reportedly unwell in prison, his party has revealed. According to a statement by his party, Dr. Besigye, who is in a pre-trial detention, was moved from Luzira prison to a clinic in Bongolibi due to his deteriorating health. Opposition stalwart and Bulawayo Mayor David Coulthard has called for all progressive forces in Africa to condemn the continued detention of Besigye by Yoweri Museveni's government. Still in Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni's son Muhoozi Kainerugaba has been sending death threats to opposition leader Bobi Wine. In a series of posts on Twitter throughout yesterday, Muhoozi told Bobi Wine that he was hunting for him and he will kill him like he did to 22 other members of Bobi Wine's NUP party. In reply, Bobi Wine said he wasn't afraid of death, while reminding Muhoozi and his father that the people of Uganda will eventually remove them from power. We spoke to activist Ellington Manaka to give an update and his opinion on this matter.
Muhoozi's threats against Bobi Wine have significant implications for Uganda's political stability and international relations. As the son of Museveni and the head of military, Muhoozi's statements carry weight and have sparked concerns about the potential for violence and suppression of opposition voices. His threats could lead to further violence and unrest in Uganda, particularly if opposition leaders like Bobi Wine feel compelled to take action in response. His aggressive rhetoric may intimidate opposition leaders and supporters, potentially undermining their ability to participate in the political process. Muhoozi's actions could erode trust in Uganda's democratic institutions and undermine the rule of law. The international community, including human rights organizations and governments, have condemned Muhoozi's threats and expressed concern about the potential for violence and human rights abuses, including the EU, which has raised concerns about Muhoozi's behavior and his implications for regional stability. Lastly, there's a risk that Uganda could face sanctions or other penalties from the international community if Muhoozi's actions are seen as undermining democratic institutions and human rights.
As we touch in the sports news, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) released a statement yesterday condemning the disruption that happened during AFCON finals, where Senegalese players briefly walked off the pitch protesting a penalty that was awarded to Morocco in an injury time. CAF said the behavior that was exhibited by some players and officials during the finals was unacceptable, and investigations into the matter are being carried out before taking action. In an English Premier League match played last night, Brighton were held to a 1-1 draw by Bournemouth. Bournemouth opened the scoring through a Marcus Tavernier penalty in the first half. Caralambos Costaulo's stunning overhead kick deep in the injury time ensured Brighton get a point in the match. To conclude our Citizens Movement radio news, here are the headlines once more. Go beyond PR hotlines and fix the roads, says MP. Mazibaba Shanduko remains in good spirits despite delays in bail ruling. Mashingo Councillor rally behind Advocate Chomisa. This ends the news bulletin.